I hated baby showers. No, I mean, I wanted to be pregnant and I had to go to all my friends' baby showers. And I'm a huge
Oh,
advocate for open adoptions.
your book made me cry in some parts and it made me laugh.
I think that resonates with a lot of people that, they don't have to feel like everything has to be perfect or everything has to make sense. It doesn't. It just doesn't. That is
Hmm.
not reality. Please don't waste my mistakes. Please don't waste my worst days. Please don't waste my confusion, my doubt, my uncertainty, my anger. Please help me through it. It really is a heart's cry.
This is the Christian Readers Community Podcast.
A quiet whisper in the night so near. Stories of faith that draw you here. The words unfold like morning's glow. A place of truth where hearts will grow. A gentle breeze that turns the page. Wisdom passed through every age. Come gather around and take your seat. The Christian Reader's Tales complete.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Christian Readers Community. My name is Faith Jiga, and I'm so excited to be back. I am back with another author. I read her memoir, and I was so glad I did. What a touching story. Some parts got me crying, and some parts made me laugh. And I really can't wait for you to hear from the author. Let's introduce to you Kim Patton. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Yay! Thank you for having me.
So happy to have you. Thank you so much for joining me, Kim.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah. So before we go into your book proper, tell us about yourself.
I live in North Carolina with my family. My husband and I are celebrating 15 years of marriage this year. So we've been through a lot. And so 15 years feels like a big deal to us. And we have adopted two little baby girls. They're not really babies anymore, but they're still my babies. They just turned 4 and 5 years old. And we're about to hit summertime in the next week or two, and we are foster parents of teenage girls. So when we are on duty, we are hanging out with a bunch of teens and our little girls. And when we are off duty, which is what I am currently, I just have my daughters. And it's a crazy, crazy life, but I'm so grateful.
15 years of marriage, and wow, the first thing was wow. And yeah, I will allow you to tell us about your book now. So tell us about the book Nothing Wasted.
Nothing Wasted, Struggling Well Through Difficult Seasons is, it really is a heart's cry that God, please don't waste all of these moments. Please don't waste my mistakes. Please don't waste my worst days. Please don't waste my confusion, my doubt, my uncertainty, my anger. Please help me through it. And I like the phrase struggling well because I I always felt like I was struggling, and I learned over time, well, how can I struggle well? How can I keep fighting? How can I not give up? So I talk in the book about just kind of these everyday struggles that we have, some of them more serious than others. I talk about my faith. I talk about marriage and how your perspective changes over time with the things that you go through. My husband and I got married really young, and we went right away to seminary in Dallas, Texas. And I loved that phase of my life, but I also hated it because there was things that were just so confusing. There was things that was really beautiful. We had amazing friends. We made a lot of memories. My husband and I were really just getting to know each other in our marriage because we were so new to being married and living together. And I I really wanted a family. And so I was kind of just waiting for that opportunity to grow our family. And I saw other people grow their families, and I dealt with jealousy. I dealt with, wearing a mask and pretending like everything was okay when really on the inside, I just wondered, man, when is it going to be my turn to start a family and stay home with my kids? And what's funny about that is eventually I got that. We did adopt our daughters in 2020 and 2021, and I was able to stay home with them. So infertility had been our story for a long time. And then adoption happened really quickly. And then the second adoption happened really quickly. And the COVID pandemic hit. And I was just flat on my face. It just, it was a beautiful, beautiful miracle to be gifted two daughters from their beautiful birth mother, Ashley, and to be in an open adoption relationship as a family. I thank God for the way he's brought me my family. And I think Ashley, she has given me the opportunity to be a mother to two beautiful girls. But there's been a lot of challenges in that process. Adopting is a challenge. Knowing that my daughters are one day going to have to figure out their whole story, that breaks my heart. But at the same time, I feel like God has just given me so much grace. He's opened my heart up so wide to adoption, to foster care, to relationship building with all these people. And it has been a hard road. But to look back and say nothing is wasted, I think that resonates with a lot of people, that, they don't have to feel like everything has to be perfect or everything has to make sense. It doesn't. It just doesn't. That is not reality. And I've had some really, really hard days where I just didn't know if I could go on, honestly. And God has picked me up every day, and he has given me the grace to persevere. And so the book is my stories. They're very honest, real, vulnerable. They are not always, they don't always have a happy ending, but that is where the grace of God meets us. And that to me is a win.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, your book made me cry in some parts, and it made me laugh, gave me some hopeful, I don't know what to say, but I really, really enjoyed, reading. And I was touched. I think that should be the right word. I was touched, reading your story. You experienced stress, sickness, and wow, the challenge. There's just so much. I don't want us to, speak or unpack everything, because I'd really like someone listening to us to go get a copy of your book after listening to this. So tell us about those times. What did you cling to, or who did you cling to when you were going through those difficult moments?
The biggest thing for me with infertility was just the loss of a dream. The story that I tell in the book that really paints a picture of how I was feeling. I wore just a ridiculous outfit, just unmatching clothes. I had my hair, tied up in a bun on my head, and I put a volleyball under my shirt. And I pretended I was pregnant, and I did like a skit for my friend's baby shower. So my friend's baby shower, they asked me to do the games, or I volunteered to do the games. And what the game was, it was me acting out this skit. And then at the end of the skit, I quizzed them. And whoever got the most questions right and correct would earn a prize. So I acted like this crazy pregnant lady who had like 7 kids, and I was looking through my purse, throwing diapers everywhere, and everybody in the room was just laughing and probably thinking in their head, like, Kim is so crazy. Like, why does she have to do this? And the reason I had to do it was because I hated baby showers. Like, they were not
Oh.
fun for me. No, I mean, I wanted to be pregnant and I had to go to all my friends' baby showers, and every one that I went to was just a reminder that I wasn't pregnant and it was going to take a while for us to even be able to start trying to get pregnant. And I really wanted to be pregnant and I wasn't, and I never would be, at least to this point in my life. I'm 35 years old, and I don't think it's going to happen, and I'm totally at peace with that because God has given me my family. But at that point, I really didn't know that infertility was going to be our path. And if I had known that in that moment, that would have absolutely crushed me, because I was living on the hope of one day it will be me. And so I put on this mask of silliness and fun and energy and laughter. And really what I was hiding was, you are pregnant, you have a kid, you're going to be pregnant next year, and I'm jealous. And so instead of sitting around, I'm going to do something. I'm going to make you laugh, and I'm going to get the attention off my inward pain. And so it was really fun. I'm not going to lie. I did that multiple times. I did skits, I did games. I just gave everybody a really good time. But when I got home, I would be in tears because I knew what I was covering up, and what nobody knew was that I desperately wanted someone to throw a party for me. And it wasn't happening, and it wouldn't happen for a long time. So, I think what God taught me during that time is patience. When we started being vocal about infertility, I got a lot of people telling me that it was going to happen. They just believed that I was going to get pregnant, and they just wanted me to believe that too. And it's not that I didn't believe that. It's just that I was open to God saying no. Because why would I think that it was going to happen just because people said it would or believed it would? What I ended up praying was, God knows how much I've wanted to be a mother my whole life. And he knew my pain. And he knew the daughters he had picked out for me before time began. He just had to bring us together. And so when our hearts kind of, like, my husband and I had to sit down and have really hard conversations. And I talk about that in the book of how, it's awkward to sit down with your husband and say, hey, so I am deeply depressed because we haven't been able to grow our family naturally. We don't have money to do treatments. I don't want to do treatments. And yet, what are our options? Adoption is $30,000 to $60,000 to adopt a child. And then, you have foster care, but adoption through foster care is complicated because these kids have been through so much, and they're separated from their birth families. And often they're 8 or 9 or 10 years old when they're in the foster care system. And you have to get licensed to even be a foster care family. So there's so many hurdles to jump through. And I was so emotionally shattered that sitting and talking to my husband about this was just the worst. And I avoided it. I said, no, thank you. I'd rather just wallow in my pain and just keep praying. And God really brought us to a point of action where he's like, you know what? If you want a family, you're going to have to go out and get it. And that sounds terrible, but sometimes life isn't about what is handed to you. Sometimes you really do have to go out and knock on some doors and make some phone calls and do the research and raise the money and figure out how it's going to happen. How are you going to grow your family, Kim? And I feel like God told me, your kids are out there, go and get them. So that encouraged me because I felt like God was really bolstering me. He's like, go and do it. Bring them home. And I'm like, okay, where are they? Can you give me a hint? And you know what? Our babies came to us, and they're sisters. And Ashley is the most amazing birth mother. We visit her every year. And I'm a huge
Wow.
advocate for open adoptions. I know that it's not always healthy, and it's not always it doesn't always work out for every family, but I love open adoption because my girls know who gave birth to them. They know, they've met her, they've hugged her. And that to me is
Wow.
really, really important. I mean, who am I to separate them from the person who gave them life? Like, we love Ashley. She texts me, she asks for pictures, we talk on the phone once in a while. We go to Florida and see her every year. She brings her mom and her boyfriend, and we just talk and we have fun, and we always eat because Ashley is
Yeah.
always ready to eat with her kids. And I know that it's an awkward thing for a lot of people to
Yeah, it
understand. Like,
is. Yeah.
yeah, how do you share your kids? And in my mind, Ashley gave me my family.
Okay.
I wouldn't have my daughters without Ashley. She has been used by God. Her choices that are unwise have brought me my family. So for her, nothing is wasted either. And we are showing her the gospel by loving our daughters, by including her, by respecting her, by honoring her. And I think that's really powerful. And we're lucky to have such a great relationship with her. It has not always been a great relationship. Remember, we started out absolute strangers. When we met
Yeah.
her in a hotel 5 years ago, and she was 8 months pregnant, she didn't know us. I mean, she picked our names and our pictures out from a profile book, but she did not know us. And she entrusted her daughter to us in the hospital. And she signed the papers, and it was her choice. And that was one of the hardest things she's ever done. But since then, in the 5 years, we've grown very, very close.
Wow. Wow, what a story. What a story. You've said everything, and I won't ask you any question anymore because I really like everyone, and I really appeal to everyone. I'm doing this for the first time or in a long time. I can't remember the last time I did this, but I'm doing giving out or making a personal call to everyone listening to this. Go get a copy of this book. I did, like, Kim sent me a copy and I read it and I was deeply moved, inspired, and I there was one thing I went home with, and that's that nothing is wasted. God takes our pain, our joy, our distresses, and He makes something beautiful out of it. And this is one thing you learn, and you would know that no matter what you've gone through, God is with you, and God is willing to use those times you believe were wasted, the situations you believe were wasted, how your even your brokenness. God is always willing to use them if you would let Him. And that's what Kim did, and her life today is better for it. Thank you so much, Kim, for sharing your beautiful story and your message to the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening and for reading. In your book review, when you sent me the book review after you read the book, I
Yeah.
I was shocked because obviously you're a writer and I'm a writer.
Yeah.
And so when, I recognized in your words, I thought, oh man, that girl can write. Yes. It was so cool. You did a really great job explaining how you felt and bringing the story to life. So I can't imagine what your books are like. I'll have to check them out because you got some talent, Faith.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And yes, anyone who'd like to check that one out, just visit our Instagram page and our Facebook page. You would see the reviews there. Thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, Kim, if someone wants to reach you, how would they be able to do that?
My website is kimpatton.com, and you can kind of find everything there. We started a new Instagram recently. It is called Foster Mama Friend. And so this is for foster and adoptive families. We are posting about foster care, adoption, books, and resources that you can use to help you in your journey. On the website, there's also resources. I love promoting books that lift up foster care and adoption in a Christian community or in a gospel-centered community, because my passion really is to shine the light on these kids who have been through hell. They have been through the absolute worst, and I have met them and taken care of them. They've lived in my house, and we've had conversations, and I've heard stories that nobody would want to know about the horrors that these kids have lived through. And so I'm so passionate about loving the kids in the foster care system. They did not choose to be there. They are heartbroken that their situation is what it is. And so the best thing we can do, I believe, as Christians, is to show up and love on them and build relationships. So we built Foster Mama Friend to encourage foster and adoptive families, because it is a really hard journey. There's special needs, there's school issues, there's diagnoses that we deal with, and it's all based on building relationships. So I just want to come alongside. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I just want to be a foster mama friend. So you can find us on Instagram, Foster Mama Friend. And then I do have a new book coming out next year, and that will be about foster care and adoption as well. But it's not quite ready yet. I'm working on it.
And I was actually going to ask you if you have a book on foster care, but I mean, you've answered it already. And I can't wait for that one. And I hope that when that one comes out, you wouldn't mind coming back to talk about it.
Of course. I'll see you in about a year, probably, maybe a year and a half, depending on how long it takes me to get it published. I'm praying through it right now, and editing, and just asking God to lead me to the right publisher and the right relationships to get this story out into the world, because I am so ready to share the story of how God led us into foster care. It has just been a beautifully hard season of caring for teenage girls, but it's so filled with adventure and joy. And I think that, again, nothing is wasted. God has led me to a place where I never expected. And he's using our family to, again, it goes back to building relationships. I believe that is key to the gospel, is not to force people to do anything, but to love them where they are, and to build relationships, and just show them how special they are, just exactly who they are. They don't have to be anyone else, but exactly who God made them to be. So it has been a wild ride, but I'll definitely keep in touch with you, Faith, so that we can chat again when the book comes out, eventually, hopefully, prayerfully, next year.
Wow, you're really a woman of strength, juggling this and doing so many things at once. Wow, that's cool, and that's great. And I pray that God will continue to strengthen you to do everything that He has placed in your hands to do. Thank you so much, Kim. So anyone can visit your website and your Instagram page. Is your book also available on Amazon?
Yes, it is on Amazon. And if you have any listeners that are willing to write a book review, just like you did, I do have a free ebook version and also a free audiobook version that I can send to listeners who are willing to write a review. So I am happy to share Nothing Wasted, because it really is an encouragement to people, I think, who are a little bit lost and just need to know that they're not alone. So I'm happy to share it with people who are willing to leave a review either on Amazon or Goodreads or their Facebook or Instagram. It really doesn't matter where. Just reach out to author Kim Patton at gmail.com and say, hey, I'd like to review your book, and just let us know if you would like an ebook or an audiobook.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. We've heard it all, and I'm going to follow you on Instagram so that I'll, be updated. I'll just keep getting updates about you. So I hope that someone listening out there would not just get a copy of this book, but also follow Kim on her social media. Thank you so much, Kim, for joining me again. This has been a wonderful conversation with you.
Yes, thank you, Faith, so much for having me.
Thank you. And yeah, listeners, this is where I'll be drawing the curtain, as the old saying goes. But I'm definitely going to be back soon. So stay with me. Thank you, everyone. Till I come your way again next time. I'm saying stay safe, stay blessed, and bye bye, everyone.
Step into the light where hope is found. Voices of love with a peaceful sound. The Christian reader calls to thee, a hope is found. Voices of love with a peaceful sound. The Christian reader calls to thee, a hope is found. Voices of love with a peaceful sound. The Christian reader calls to thee, a world of grace and harmony.